September 20th, 2017. Well, power is out, and so I just decided to come out here and work some of the greenhouse plants that I am long overdue for transplanting, pruning, and some care and maintenance and love on. And so I'm going to do this combination is a rosemary plant, which you can see is flowering. Sorry for the bad lighting, but all I have is a headlight for the moment. And this is French tarragon over here, which is not flowering. And they're both wonderful herbs for cooking with. And this is actually, I believe this is 3 plants in here. Yeah, there's 3 plants in here. And so you can see, if I take you in here, you can see that those are some pretty gnarly big stems at the base of these plants. These have been in high nutrition for a couple years and in this large pot for a couple years. In fact, a few years ago, this same plant went to Lake George with my mom and my children when we went up to a cottage up there for a week to kind of hang out, and we cooked off of this the whole time. So it was nice bringing along kind of an herb garden. I had other stuff in it at the time too, like I had thyme and basil and something else, Texas tarragon maybe. Anyway, so this planter, these roots are actually getting quite large for this pot, but I'm not ready to go to a bigger pot because this one, when it's wet with soil, is pretty heavy, and I wouldn't say unmanageable, but certainly not on the easy side of management. Anyway, so I'm going to just top up the soil in here a bit. I'm going to do some pruning first, and I thought I would just show you that a little bit. Also, I'll note from it being in the greenhouse last year or the year before, you can see some chew marks at the base of this from where the moles or voles were getting in there. So I'm going to try and eliminate them from the greenhouse this year. I'm also not going to be running heat in the greenhouse this year. I'm going to dedicate my time to some other stuff and try and gear up for a really good farming season next year. And that's going to take some planning and getting things together. So I'm going to put some barrels in the greenhouse for thermal mass and fill them with water, and I might even paint them black and close up the greenhouse and basically just be about a 1.5 zone further south equivalent by doing that without heat. I'm going to try and get the Raspberry Pi back online for that. That took a lightning strike over the summer. When I get that back online, I'll monitor the greenhouse, of course, and then we'll be able to compare the same greenhouse space with heating applied and without heating applied for a whole season, and that'll give us a little bit better data on heating, cooling parameters, and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do some pruning here, and then I'll give you a clip of that. I'm going to top up the soil, and I'll show you that just to give you an idea how to go about this if you decide to, have to, need to, or want to. So just a moment. Okay, and here we are again. You can see I just did a real light pruning in here. There's a pile of cut-offs over here. I may stick those in some damp soil and see if some of them root. If they do, that'll be good propagation. If they don't, no loss. You can see I didn't really go crazy here. I was just trying to clean up underneath so I can get the soil in here easily. I'm going to top it up. I won't go, entirely to the rim. I might, because it'll settle, but I wouldn't actually fill it like packed to the top of the rim, because then when you go to water, it runs out, and it's nice to have a little bit of a well, so to speak, so you can fill water in and it can kind of soak in over time, because this goes through quite a dry cycle sometimes. In fact, I watered this really heavily about 2 days ago, and granted it's been 80 degrees and, well, it was 80 degrees and sunny yesterday, 80, 85, and then today it was around 80 degrees overcast. But so they did get a feed, so they're back to drawing a lot of water again, but it's actually lost a lot of weight already. It's quite light already, so it's due for another watering. So that's part of why I'm topping the soil up, to give a little bit more soil mass. And also this is good compost soil that I've been saving from the greenhouse, and most of that has been fed with the foliar feed, the nutrition, trace mineral and hormonal type nutrition. So, you know, with other plants being grown in there. So these are all kickbacks from pots with that sort of soil grown in it. And so this will make an excellent, you know, top up to go on top here. Anyway, I'll go ahead and top it up, and then I'll let you have a look at that. Alrighty, catch you in a few. Okay, so we've topped the soil up a bit. Like I said, I left a little bit of a well. I actually left a little more space than I was planning, but I figure this will settle down a bit over time, and I'll top it up again. And probably after that, I'll just start adding layers of mulch on top of the soil. In fact, I may start that right after this. It's really a good idea to keep your soil covered and keep a home for the biology and all. But you can see, I wish I had shown you, actually there were 2 mushrooms growing in here too. I don't know what kind they were. But anyway, you can see I'm heavily watering in here. I'm flooding this whole thing. And after I flood it solid, I'll just let it drain. And these should be good for a while. And I imagine we'll see a perk up in growth pretty quick after doing this. Of course, that'll mean I'll have to play catch up again, but we'll get to that. Anyway, I hope this video has been informative. If you have any questions or comments, of course, do so below. Thanks for watching the Farmacy Seeds Network.